Welcome to Sweden. It's a brisk minus 30 degrees outside, and we're here for the 2011 Mazda MX-5 Open Race.
MX-5 is our brand icon. It's a fun car to drive, and that's the heart and soul of the car. So why not celebrate that fact? So we started off last year with Adria in Venice in Italy. I've come up here to race on ice. And what better way to test the handling of the MX-5?
We're on a lake, believe it or not. Now they say it's about between sort of 30 centimetres and 60 solid. So fingers crossed, we're not going to go through it. So it's an ice lake. It's fantastic. They've carved a track out of nothing, and we're going to race around it in rear-wheel drive MX-5s.
We're a little bit lucky this year because Ireland is such a small country. We've been divided up and given other teams to join us. So we have Romania with us and Serbia, but we also have a couple of Finnish drivers, and that can only mean good news because these guys are born and reared in these kind of conditions. So yeah, hopefully they're going to give us a few tips. There's one guy who looks really handy as well. He's an old kind of silver-haired racer, so I think he's going to do a good job for us.
Oh, I would say that most of the track use third gear because it's very slippy. If you only when it goes revs go too low, then second gear, and be careful with the throttle because it's like you would step on a banana peel when using second gear.
So we started with practice laps. While this was a chance to get used to the cars, it would also determine where we would lay on the grid. The fastest lap from each team would be used to place us on the circuit on race day, and we were particularly glad that we'd sent out our experienced Finns out first.
Morning's gone well. We're coming to close now of the first practice session, so we're line 7th, which I think is really good. Our two Finns went out and set blistering times around 5 minutes. We had then Michael go out and do a real steady kind of middle sector, so Paddy's finishing it off now. Let's hope he'll do okay. He needs to be a bit steady. He's a bit nervy. You saw in the car the hands a bit shaky, but I think if he does a solid kind of 5.5 minutes, we'll stay in 7th place, which would be great.
No pressure then. It is around about now that you start to feel very out of your depth. I did well to a point, but what you can see is me smacking straight into a bank. I came to the first bank and it was one of the banks later on. I was just going too quick, a little bit too optimistic on how I was going to do, and yeah, hit a bank and then was waiting for a while before the crew turned up to dig me out. I have never been a racing driver, but already I was coming out with racing driver excuses. Let's hope I could improve for my second run. So it's 5 o'clock in the evening, it's nearing the end of the day. As you can see, the light is starting to fade. It's been a very good day so far. Now, what started off as a very bad one for me, but a particularly rubbish first practice lap has changed. My second one was an awful lot better, so I'm actually quite pleased with the way things have gone. Oddly, at this stage of the day, the Australians are actually winning the whole event in terms of the fastest lap, so they're quite delighted about that, given the fact that they don't have any ice or snow. This race tomorrow is all about finishing with the most amount of laps, so the key is not to come off. If we can be consistent, and we're being consistent so far, then we might end up actually doing okay. We're hoping for a top 10 finish. That could be optimistic, but we're going to go for it anyway. Day 2, and after a quick team briefing, it was down to business. Okay, so we're 13th on the grid, and you know what, that's not a bad place to start given the fact that this is a race which is just starting off. There's been no qualifying this morning, so the first corner is going to be very, very tricky. No one knows what the surface has been like, so the first few cars are going to pile in probably at the speed they were doing yesterday in qualifying, so God knows what is going to happen.
Well, how was it? Well,
You couldn't see practically anything in the start, so it's lots of snow dust in the air, but it was okay. In a little while I was a bit slower, so I got to 100 meters in front of me, clear road, so it was pretty nice to try.
Our first fin is in. We're in 12th position at the moment, which is pretty good. We've made one place. He says it's very, very slippy out there at the moment, so I think the main thing is, Paddy, take it easy in the first few laps, find the grip, find the rhythm, and we'll be fine after that.
I started well, but then suddenly had to abort my segment very quickly. I couldn't see.
Paddy was up. Did my first lap, and as I was going around, I was behind a car, and a whole heap of snow came into my eye, and I wear contact lenses, and I literally went into my eye and I could not see a thing, so I had to come in. So it's a bit of a disaster because I didn't do my 3 laps, so I need to get out again.
I think you're better safe than sorry. I mean, you couldn't see you crashed the car.
Crashed the car, which would have been a disaster.
Yeah.
I was gutted, and I knew that my team were too. I knew I should have got that laser surgery. Minus 30 degrees and contact lenses simply didn't mix. There I go again with the excuses. Let's hope my vision problems hadn't cost the team dearly.
Paddy, I'm very happy, man.
Yeah?
We're 10th position overall.
I'm pretty delighted with that.
Take a look at that. We're right up there in the mix. We're touching distance to the Austrians in 7th place. Right. And even up to 5th and 6th is doable if we get a bit of luck.
I have to say I'm incredibly relieved given the earlier mishap I had that we've made up a lot of places. So delighted by that. Don't feel so silly now.
Yeah, Paddy. Well, the eye thing was sorted. We
Yeah,
could
the
have
eyes.
been-
I got an eye transplant over lunch. So,
Good.
Yeah, we're all good.
So, 10th position at the moment. The day wasn't over yet. This could all change for the better.
We've done pretty well. We've had a couple of spins in this second half of the race, which is annoying because I think we were pretty clean on the stops, and if we'd have stayed out of trouble, we may have been a bit higher up. I'd love to be winning, but you've got to take it as an event just to enjoy as well, and it's been brilliant. It's such a laugh out there. It's really good.
Coming near the end of the event, we were lying in 13th, where we'd begun the day. But Australia, a country without much snow, were in first.
You've probably been the surprise package. Not a surprise for you guys, though. I guess you were always confident, were you?
I know, very much a surprise for us. Look, we've had enormous respect for ice for a long time. It's served us wonderfully inside our Bundy rum and cokes.
Yeah.
And so we have a liking for ice. We got here on Stockholm. The team met up in Stockholm on Sunday night, and we did the traditional thing and got absolutely hammered.
Which is good preparation,
Well,
obviously.
it's like, look at us, we're fine physical specimens. We've been in training for months for this.
The 4-hour race began to draw to a close, and Australia's lead was not to last. The Russians, amongst them an ice racing champion, snatched first place, ahead of Australia and the ever-consistent Belgians in third. Our team finished in 13th, where we started the day. Out of 20 teams, that was no disgrace.
So it's over for another year. It's been an absolutely cracking event. We've acquitted ourselves rather well. No doubt we'll be back next year. God knows where it's going to be, possibly underwater next time around. But I've really enjoyed it, and the team have too. So it's goodbye from Sweden.